The Nigeria Football Federation (NFF) on Monday unveiled the new Super Eagles head coach Eric Chelle at the media center of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja. With the unveiling, Chelle has become the 37th coach of the Super Eagles. During the ceremony, the new head coach, who is an attacking-minded manager, said he is ready to work with the crop of players at his disposal, adding that since Nigeria is blessed with football talent, he is positive he can achieve his aim.
Achieve with a great spirit. We need to make some great projects around this team. We need to motivate this team. We need to cope with this team like a brother. We need to take your game and improve everywhere.
Yes, hello and welcome to 360 Sports on Trust TV. I am Emmanuel Fashimi. We'll actually still get to that particular story. We will look at the whole unveiling of Eric Chelle just at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium yesterday. The new sheriff in town, we will call him, because he's the man who will be taking over who has taken over from Austin Uguevon as the new Super Eagles coach. Like I said, we'll get to that story and look at that properly. But before we start the show proper this morning, I have a big brother and a daddy, I call him, in the studio this morning. Alawale Pictures, welcome to 360 Sports on Trust TV.
I don't understand you and Adeni. Either someone will call me a suspect, another person will make me look older than my age.
Okay, the youngest daddy in town.
The youngest sport analyst in town.
Okay.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Yesterday, let's begin from Israel Adesanya story. Yes, Israel Adesanya, after losing to Sean Strickland and South African Duplessis back-to-back in defeat, but he will be back into the octagon. But this time around, there's no bet, nothing at stake in Saudi Arabia, where he will be fighting against Nasruddin Imavov in that particular fight in Saudi Arabia next month. But he is actually preparing for that return, training with ex-rival, that is Robert Whitaker. That is both of them know in boxing and UFC will have what is called sparring. For Israel Adesanya, he's actually preparing to come back into the sport. After that defeat to Duplessis, he said he was taking a break to reassess, and I believe he must have finished his reassessment.
Okay, and I think part of the reassessment is to go to his ex-rival, someone that have defeated him, someone that understands his weak point, someone that will make him a better person to do the pairing with, to get him prepared against his weaknesses before the next fight. So I think it's a very good and welcome development because it's your enemy that knows you better. So they are the one that knows you better. He's the one that knows his weak point. He's the one that knows what he did to warn him out. He's the one that knew what he did to got him knocked out. He's the one that knew what he did to really made him humble during the fight. So that will be part of the experience he's going to get during the preparation for the big fight, because this time around, I think it should be a must-win for him to let people know that, okay, I'm not done, I'm still alive. So it's not a match for him to really take for granted. So I think it's a very good decision he made by going to his ex-rival that really dealt with him before.
Okay, for Israel Adesanya and Robert Whitaker, they are rivals when it comes to the UFC, and he's actually preparing for Imavov in that fight against Nasruddin Imavov in that next UFC fight. But nothing at stake in that fight. Is just a way of coming back into the sport. And immediately after that fight, we should be seeing Israel Adesanya taking on another strong opponent. But this time around, everything would be there to fight for. A good one. You heard it from Peters that yes, going, your your enemy knows you better, and that is what Israel Adesanya has actually done right now. Okay, we have Michael joining us on the show this morning. Let's go straight to the next story. Michael, welcome to 360 Sports on Trust TV. Now, I'll start with you quickly. The NFF president, we saw that clip from the beginning. We'll still take that clip. Says Rick Chelle's contract ends in 2027. That is just a 2 years contract for the Malian, Franco-Malian coach that Nigeria has hired.
Yeah, I mean, the Oga at the top has spoken, and no matter what we think, just like in Nigeria, once the president speaks, once Jagaban speaks, it stands. And I think it's the same authority and the same power that has been bestowed on the footballing activities president, which is Ibrahim Gusau. And as he has spoken, it stands. We may have our comments, we may have our doubts. I mean, we may cast shadow on the decision. We believe that Nigeria should hire a world-class, a bigger coach. We may have our varying opinions, but the moment the overall boss speaks, it stands. I mean, that's how we operate. We may not be too democratic when it comes to this type of decisions, but I think we should give Eric Chelle a chance. When you watch him in the sidelines, taking care of the Malian team during the last AFCON, you can testify that he's actually a good gaffer, and he's a very energetic coach. He makes Mali a team people fear to play against, and I believe we have a better crop of players than the Malians. In his interview, he said Nigeria's job, the coaching job, is his dream job. So when something is your dream job, your approach is different. So I believe he's carrying on his shoulders the burden. I mean, to silence all. I think that's the level we are right now. So let's give him and allow him to deliver this job. After all, it's a 2-year contract. They say he needs to qualify us for the World Cup, and then let's see what happens at the Nations Cup. So I think we should just give him a chance at this point.
Yeah, because I know you are part, or in fact, every one of us we were surprised when this name came up because nobody actually saw Eric Chelle. We were expecting maybe, in quote, a bigger name when it comes to the footballing world. But we saw, despite Eric Chelle was in the last Nations Cup, yes, but we never really saw this coming. And from your own end, how do you see NFF appointing Eric Chelle?
Okay, my approach is not different from the same approach I made known when they appointed Jose Peseiro here, that it's like we've not learned from the past. That's just the truth. We are not serious as a nation. And the NFF and president and the NSC, I think they don't really understand what we want in terms of transiting our football to the higher level. That's the way I look at it. We are still not serious. With due respect to the new appointed coach, but is it the one that we really need right now? My answer will be capital no. Why would I say capital no? Look at his pedigree, where he has coached. So everybody's talking about him being a Malian coach, but nobody's talking about he was sacked in Mali in June last year after they played 1-1 draw in the World Cup qualifier against Madagascar. He was let go. From there, he went to FC Oran or Oman in Algeria. That is where we got him from. So is that the second class or third class coach that we are looking for? No. We are looking for a brand name. Look at what he has done. Okay, yes, he has done very well for Mali. Are you comparing the pedigree of Super Eagles of Nigeria in the football world with what Mali has done or what Mali is doing? It was at the same Nations Cup that we went in Ivory Coast. We were the first runner-up. They crashed out in the quarterfinal. What has he done that is very exceptional that will make us believe that this is the right coach for us? He has never won a trophy. He has never even played in the semi-final before. And this is the first time we'll be having an African coach in the history of the coaches we've had in Super Eagles. This is the first time we'll be having an African coach to come and coach the Super Eagles. So if you are doing that, why don't you go for the best?
Okay.
If you're not going for the best, what stop us from equipping, giving the necessary skills to our own coach here? We've had Nigerian coaches that have taken us. Eguavon, we knew what Eguavon did for this country.
Okay.
In terms of the AFCON, he got a bronze for us.
Yeah, of course.
So it's a bronze, not far better than someone that crashed out in the quarterfinal, someone that really understands the Nigerian football. So honestly, I don't know what to say about this. I'm not keeping my eyes now. It's someone that got us qualified for the AFCON in Morocco. It's someone else that is coming to take us.
If we look at it, maybe he might not go to that, whatever it is left for the NFF. But still staying with you, Peters, the 2 years contract, do you think it worth it? Maybe they should have given him 1 year.
To start with, he doesn't deserve any contract in Nigeria. That's my opinion. But however, they've taken their decision. We don't have a choice than to go with it. The 2 years contract given to him, there is a clause in it. And what is the clause? The clause is that if he qualifies us for the World Cup, they will extend this 2 years contract. So there's no clause that if he fails to qualify us for the World Cup, his contract will be terminated. No. So whatever he wants to do, he will still taking us to the AFCON in Morocco this year, and he still spend his 2 years, except if the NFF, they are ready to part ways with him and pay the damages as we used to know. So to me, if you look at it, and there's something about the NFF also, I don't know why they are still shredding it in secrecy. Anytime we are having a foreign coach, how much would they be earning?
Okay.
Up to now, we still don't know. But recall vividly, when Finidi George was appointed, that very day, we knew they are paying him 15 million per month. So why do we have it double standard when it comes to this? So to be frank with you, I have an issue with the way they structure the contract. It should have been, because the reason why we need him is to qualify, or we need any coach, not him. The reason why we need any coach now is to qualify us for the World Cup.
Yes, of course.
So what stops us from signing, 6 months contract? After the 6 months contract, we'll have known if we are qualifying for the World Cup or not. Then there's an option of renew for another 2 years or 3 years. That's not stated. But what was stated was 2 years contract, and if you qualify for the World Cup, you can extend the 2 years to additional 3 or 4 years. I don't know. I don't really know the people that sat down to do this contract with.
For his salary, the NFF didn't disclose that yesterday. The question was asked, but they were keeping that close to their chest. Michael, I'll come back to you. Yes. Peter mentioned that this is the first time we have an African who's not a Nigerian coaching us. But we've also seen Nigerians coaching, let me mention coaching other countries from the East African side and the West African side. Emmanuel Munike was with Tanzania during the 2019 Nations Cup. We have that is the late Stephen Keshi coaching Togo national team. So these countries didn't really maybe raise eyebrows or what have you when we had our own coaching them. Now we have a man who is also an African, but somehow has that trait, that family background from France and Cote d'Ivoire with Mali. Now coming to coach Nigeria, do you think Eric Chelle understands our football language in this country?
First of all, I thought we should have kept our eyes on the contract of Didier Deschamps that is coming to an end soon, or a Harvey Renard that I think his contract has also ended. I thought we should have kept our eyes on such world-class coaches with brand names, because at this time you want to qualify for the World Cup, you are not going for world-class coaches. How do you intend to get to the World Cup when you don't have a world-class coach? Like I said, we've been crying about this decision of Eric Chelle. and the NFF have decided to give us a deaf ear. And I remember the immediate past NFF president even said that so many things are better left in secret, just like Olawale Peters has just mentioned. So if we keep all these things shredded in secrecy, then we'll remain under the tunnel. I mean, it doesn't look like there will be light at the end of the tunnel. That's the situation we are in Nigeria, and it's rather unfortunate. But coming to your question, it's unfortunate that we've lost Stephen Keshi. It's unfortunate that we've lost Amadou Shuaibu. I want to believe that if not for the crisis they are even having with Sisi Atia, and then if these other two men were alive, I believe one of them would have actually been the head coach by this time. It's just that we lost them. Their lives were cut short within a period of a month, sometimes in 2016, and it's rather unfortunate. But I believe that Nigerians coaches with Amunike, if given the chance, I believe will do better than Eric Chelle. That's the truth. And we are actually a bigger nation in football when it comes to Mali. So I know Malians now will be very angry that we're underrating their coach. But the truth is, when it comes to football, they are not in our breath. We're not on the same breath with Mali. So yes, we have every cause to cry because we are the giants of Africa regardless, and we deserve something better. And the NFF are not doing it well. From the former NFF boss to the current NFF boss, there's something they are not telling us, and that's why we continue to retrogress.
Okay. Before we go, before we still continue with this particular story, Chelle, the Super Eagles, and Nigerians, let's quickly hear from Chelle what he has to say during that unveiling, and also from the NFF president. UW National Stadium, Abuja. With the unveiling, Chelle has become the 37th coach of the Super Eagles. During the ceremony, the new head coach, who is an attacking-minded manager, said he is ready to work with the crop of players at his disposal, adding that since Nigeria is blessed with football talent, he is positive he can achieve his aim.
We need to make some great projects around this team. We need to motivate this team. We need to support this team like a brother. We need to take your game and improve everywhere.
The senior special assistant to the president from grassroots sports, the general secretary of the Nigerian Football Federation, chairman technical committee, director technical, the brand new head coach of the Super Eagles, Mr. Eric, and his agent, deputy director, deputy general secretary, all other top management staff of the National Sports Commission and NFF are present, members of the press, other invited guests. Let me start by saying good afternoon to all of us. First of all, let me, on behalf of the Nigerian Football Federation, welcome all of you to this very important occasion. It's here to give us the results. We gave the technical committee the opportunity and the privilege to work diligently and get us a coach. And they did their work. They did whatever they need to do. And they gave us their report. We look at the report and we talk with the National Sports Commission. They gave us their own endorsements, and Eric is here today. And by the grace of God, he is here to work. And I want to assure all Nigerians that if Eric can give us what happened in Mali, by the grace of God, we are going to the World Cup.
Okay. You heard it from the NFF president. That Eric Chelle has come to work. Like I mentioned yesterday on this show, maybe the technical committee of the NFF has seen something you and I, Michael, and every other Nigerian out there did not see in Eric Chelle.
Yeah, I agree with you. because I can say this boldly, we understand football more than them. So maybe that's why they don't see what we are saying.
Okay.
So we know how it works. Okay, now, you caught me laughing the other time. And why would the NFF president say that if he can give us what he gave Mali, that means we'll qualify for the World Cup? Currently, Mali is sitting fourth on their log table in their group, having played 4 matches with 5 points. And what are those people that they have in their group? Comoros, Madagascar, Ghana, and Chad. So I think that statement, we should be very, very careful of what we see and what we pray for, to be honest with you. The number 2, concerning the process that he mentioned, you see, we still fail to understand what is called accountability in this country. Because the money they are going to pay the coach is taxpayers' money. It is not an individual money. They are just managing the fund on our behalf. So we have a say in it. Now, I expected him to have mentioned, even if it is summary of the process involved. And until we have that in this country, we'll continue to have this issue. What am I trying to say? You should have explained to the press or to the Nigerians that during the process of getting Eric, we scouted.
We consulted this and
we scouted for 5 coaches. These are the coaches. And at the end of the day, the technical committee submitted their report recommending 1, 2, and 3. And after due diligence or whatever they've done that made them to now believe that Eric is the best choice, they should be proud to tell us, to let us know. Until we have that in this country, trust me, we'll just be getting a coach that will come and make name with the country. Because what most of them are doing is they are coming to this country and they shine with it. However, we're going to give him the chance because we don't have a choice right now. We can cry from now till tomorrow. Our focus should now be the coach, his technical ability. Because if you look at his preferred formation, he plays more of possession-based football. His formation has been 4-3-1-2. So he used 2 strikers, 1 creative midfielder then. So maybe this will be the time for us to get it right, especially from the midfield, because if you want to play possession-based football, you must crowd your midfield. So that means we need more of creative midfielder, apart from Alex Iwobi and Dele Ashiru of last year. Yeah. I don't think we have any creative midfielder again. So, and for him to flourish, he needs to get more. Maybe, for every bad thing, you get good things out of it. Maybe the good thing we'll get from it is to see how our midfielders will play fantastic football. Okay. But however, and unfortunately for him, he's getting his first baptism without any window for friendly match. There's no friendly match between now and March that will be playing Zambia. So that shows that there's no room for try and error. So that means his next match must be a guaranteed 3 points. Without that, he will start getting his baptism, even from us, before it gets to the time. Because as we are right now, we don't need to sleep. We are sitting 5th on the log table.
We are sitting 5th on the log table. Well, the big one, Eric Chelle. You are in for it. Well, Michael, let me come back to you. If we look at the whole scenario, the man himself, Eric Chelle, was so confident while he was addressing the media men, sportsmen, and women yesterday at the unveiling. With his confidence, and being that he said he's an attacking-minded coach, do you think he has what it takes? Let's forget whatever maybe qualifying for the World Cup, but can he really get the desired result?
Yeah, talking about being attack-minded, I remember watching Man in the last AFCON. They may not have gotten to the semis, but we can't take away the fact that they really have an attacking style of football. And if you watch their game from start to finish, it's breathtaking. There's no doubt about the fact that he's an attacking styled football coach. And let's be honest, our midfield has not been in sync with our strike force. I think that's our major problem, and it has been a recurring decimal for a couple of years now. We just managed to get to the AFCON finals against all odds, and that's due to the excellence of a certain Truth Akon from up behind, and then, of course, talking about the reigning African Footballer of the Year, Ademola Lookman, and the energetic essence of a certain Victor Osimhen. And let's be honest, those are the tricky factors that just pushed us, crawled us to the finals. And one thing we continue to mention is the midfield. We almost slaughtered Iwobi because of his performance at certain points. The midfield, how can he sync it with the attack? I think that's what he needs to do. What is he going to do with those Iwobi? What is he going to do with Nathan Taylor? Those other guys. And then now that Victor Osimhen, will he remain the only striker to be relied upon? How is he going to bring in Victor Boniface? These are the tacticals that we need to look at now. What style is he going to adopt that will make these guys perform better? Boniface hasn't scored much for Nigeria, and then we have a certain Victor Osimhen. How is he going to bring out the best since he's an attacking coach? I think that's what we should be looking at for now. What he can do to our midfield to ensure that our strikers get the chances, and then make Ademola Lookman perhaps the best left winger in the world. That is what I think he should be looking at. And I believe somehow that looking at his attacking style, he may just inject a higher degree of a flair to our attacking football. And if he can do that, I believe we'll be able to get those important 3 points that Peter Olawale just mentioned.
Okay, if we can actually do that, the midfield is one key area. If you want to attack, you need a creative midfield. We're still looking at Chelle, but we'll just quickly look at this one, where NFF also, they had to reveal his assistants, and for Chelle, his assistants will be all those he worked with in Mali. So definitely for any coach, you always want to work with those that understands your style of play, and then bringing in. But if we want, is he also going? We still work with our own assistants, because the assistant NFF will also have to give him our own assistant. We have Fidelis Lechuku and Daniel Ogumodede in there. Now, coupled with, let me say, all of the coaches are young. If you look at it, and now working with Fidelis, and do you think there's going to be a smooth synergy?
Yeah, I think there will be a smooth synergy, and I think there will be a good transition, because, to be sincere with you, it needs them to really settle down. It needs them to really understand the players. It needs them to really understand the style of play. It needs them to really understand Nigerian football, because this is a coach that he only had 2 years experience working in Africa as a Malian coach between 2022 to 2024. So that's just 2 years. So it's not someone that really have the vast experience when it comes to African football, talk less of understanding the Nigerian terrain. So definitely we will need the Nigerian assistant to really put him through to guide him in a way, because like Mike said, we can cry from now till next year. Nothing is going to change. But what we can do now is to put him to work, to give him the pressure. Like I said during the appointment of Jose Pizarro, that I'll be happy if at the end of the day he proved me and other Nigerians wrong that he's a good coach.
But he did that.
But he didn't. He proved us right that it was a wrong choice. And I hope also Eric will do the same thing to prove us wrong that, it's actually a good coach by doing 3 things. But first, we need to really have a team.
Yeah.
We don't have a team. Number 2, we don't have style of play. We need to have the culture of style of play. So he needs to build a team. And for us to build that team, we see that midfield, we don't have anything. Our midfield is always very flat. We play mostly from the wing. And by the time, if you notice most of our matches, by the time the likes of Chukwueze or Lookman, they couldn't play. You need to switch your possession, your style of play, and play from the midfield. But we don't have anybody that can do that for us from the midfield. So that is part of the problem we are having. But now we should have that two style of play of if the midfield is not working for us, if the midfield is choked up, we should be able to spread and make use of the wing. That is the new vibe that is going on in football right now. So he needs to do that for us. Okay. We really need it. Then thirdly, we need a transition. And this is not about Herrick, this is about the NFF. When was the last time we had a transition from under 17 to under 20, under 20 to under 23, under 23 to the senior team? When was the last time we had that transition? So that's part of the major problem we are having with our Super Eagles. We don't have that transition. We don't have those players that can play. Okay, look at the likes of, apart from the likes of Victor Osimhen, transition, Awoniyi, transition. But uncle is tired. Uncle is tired already. We can see what he's doing in Sevilla right now. So we need that transition also. So apart from Eric working with those Fidelis and Ogumadede, they need to also start looking inward into the 21, 17. We've seen a lot of youngsters in Europe coming up now, 16, 17 years.
Who are even
Nigerians. So we should be able to try and see how they can transit into the Super Eagles. So those should be part of their assistant that should be given to the coach instead of us to rely only on one player. Then also, we need to change our focus of having only one striker.
Okay, we need to change our focus. So I can tell you for free on this show that Eric Chelle is a man that gives the young ones a chance. If you look at that Malian team, they were full of young players. He took the bull by the horn by benching their best player, Bersuma, and we saw that in the Nations Cup. And he said yesterday he's going to give the young ones a chance. As we speak, he's already in a kenne with the home-based Super Eagles, preparing for the Chan Nations Cup coming up next month. So Eric Chelle have a lot to do with the Super Eagles. Build us a team, and definitely Nigeria will be world beaters, just the way we were at the USA 1994 and Atlanta 1996. All right, let's move away from that story. And now we'll talk MPFL quickly. We'll just flip over these. For Academy Warriors, we know that the MPFL is on break. MPFL team, they are back to training for the second stanza of the league. So we'll be seeing what the man who is with that 20, that is Coach Keberu, will be doing with Academy Warriors of Maduguri. And then the big story this morning, still coming in from the MPFL, yes, we actually want to stamp out hooliganism, crowd violence, and what have you from our league. Now, the league body, that is MPFL, organizer sanctions Nasarawa United. They have been fined 3 million naira, and then they should produce all those that assaulted the opposition team, the referee, that encroach onto the pitch of play, which is a commendable one coming in from the NFF and then the MPFL organizers. Michael, for Nasarawa United, they are already in murky waters, and now they have been hammered, another fine, and 3 points as we speak will be deducted from their points.
Yes, I mean, they are like looking at between the devil and the deep blue sea. I mean, from a catastrophe to disaster, that is what their situation looks like right now. Because they were barely trying to get their head off the water so that they can even breathe. But with this, I think they have been further, not just decapitated, but capitulated at the same time. It's really, really a gory situation for Nasarawa United, for the fact that they've been at the relegation and they've been down there, and this fine imposed upon them is obviously a product of aggression. And the aggression has led them to the doldrums. Sorry for being too strong-worded when it comes to describing the Nasarawa situation, but that is the situation we have right now. And though I heard that one of the writers for the sports for Rivers United has been banned because of his description of the situation, but I mean, we must be honest, Nasarawa needs to appeal, and they really need to do that quickly. Perhaps there may be a reconsideration or a review of that decision. But the 3 million naira is not a big deal. but it's those 3 points. I can tell you what, those 3 points are worth 30 million naira. So they would prefer to pay 30 million than to get those 3 points deducted, because no team wants to remain languishing at the bottom table.
Okay, no team want to remain languishing at the bottom of the table. Let's look at the table quickly, and we'll see where Nasarawa United is standing if eventually they deduct their points. Remo Stars and Rivers United first and second, and Niger Tornadoes complete the first side of the table. They are the flip side now. We'll see where they are. Nasarawa United is at the bottom of the table. If 3 points is being deducted, 19 games, 19 points, and now you take 3 points away, that means they'll have 16 points.
I think that's the only way that the club's owners and the management can control their crowd, can control the unethical and unprofessional conduct of their supporters and their players. As far as I'm concerned, if it has to do with paying or fine, they'll be able to cover it out, to be honest with you. But what everybody, irrespective of your position in the table, either you are
at the top,
or for example now, let's assume it is Raymond Star that this happens to. They're having 36 points currently right now. They're going to deduct 3 points from them. That will take them to 33 points, yes, meaning they're going to move from first to third position. They wouldn't want that to happen. So they'll be very cautious and make sure that they bring in an adequate security for the players. So I think, as far as I'm concerned, I'm okay with the NPFL and NFF to sanction the erring team with point deduction after they've done their investigation and they have found one thing. It should be point deduction at number 1, then compensation at number 2. That will really bring sanity into the league. Without that, they'll just say, oh, don't worry now, how much is it? 30 million. Let's just organize ourselves together. At least we've gotten the 3 points. But that 3 points is what they really wants to have.
Okay. Yeah. For Nasarawa United, they have 48 hours to, if they can appeal that decision. All right, let's move away from that. Just take this quickly. The league result, there were league games played last night. We'll just look at that result. And then also there was one game in the English FA Cup, third round fixture yesterday. If we have that result, we'll be bringing it on the screen. But we'll look at some transfer. Okay. We have the league result. Real Sociedad defeated Villarreal in La Liga 1-0, and Monza beat Fiorentina 2-1 in the Italian Serie A. Those were the 2 league games that were played last night. And then the third round FA Cup, just one game, Millwall defeated Denham and Redbridge 3-0 to progress into the third round of that competition. Now we'll quickly look at transfer stories this morning. Taiwo Awoniyi, just in 20 seconds, Peters, Taiwo Awoniyi now in talks with West Ham United, as in from Nottingham Forest. For Taiwo Awoniyi, he just came back from an injury. He announced his name with a goal against Wolves at Molineux when they defeated Wolves, I think by 2-0. He was on the score sheet in that game.
Yeah, okay, I think he should stay with Nottingham Forest and fight his place back instead of going to West Ham. Then if you look at the position of the Nottingham Forest right now and where West Ham is, the difference is clear.
Very clear.
So he should not miss the opportunity of playing in Europe next season, either Champions League, Europa, or even Conference League. Europe is Europe. So as far as I'm concerned, I think he should stay to fight for his place instead of going to West Ham Forest, because apart from Chris Wood, who is an old but performing player, is the second striker. And if you look at their coach, after Awoniyi scored, the way he was happy and he jubilated for that goal is even more than when Chris Wood scored his goal. So that means it's giving him more option at the front end that, oh, okay, so if Chris Wood is not really picking, that means I have Awoniyi that is coming back. So I think he should stay and fight for his place instead of going to West Ham.
Taiwo Awoniyi, we heard it from 360 Sports, and Olawale Peters advising you, stay at Nottingham Forest. Don't move an inch. Yes, definitely Nottingham Forest. I just laugh Arsenal fans. They say Nottingham Forest is holding position for them. Well, at the end of the season, we will see if Nottingham Forest is definitely holding that position for them. And then the next one at Bayern Munich, Chelsea in race for Manchester United midfielder Kobe Mainoo fantastic young man who right now his contract situation with Manchester United has not really been sorted, but Ruben Amorim is also a fan of him and he wants him. Michael, for Kobe Meno, I don't think the choice of going to Chelsea, if eventually he can't sort his contract with Man U at the end of the season, if he wants to move, Chelsea, Bayern, where do you prefer for him?
Let's be honest. I know that he's the top and the jewel of the Man U or even the Premier League at the moment. But these two teams we are looking at, they have a barrage of midfielders. I mean, you want to go to the Bayern, they have the top of the top midfielders there. Chelsea, they have signed more than 40 players. Bayern are a world-class team. They have this Zim Musiala. They have a very strong young core. I know that Kobe Mino is just 19 and he's collecting 19,000 or 20,000 pounds per week. I know he's playing like a player who deserves to get 200,000 a week. But to be honest, these two teams, perhaps he may get a chance in Chelsea, but for Bayern, it's difficult to unseat those midfielders in Bayern Munich. To be honest with you, it's difficult to unseat them. So, except he wants to go wait for his time and develop. After all, he just but when you go to Chelsea, I mean, you have players that they've signed 100 million, three of them in that midfield. You want to start struggling with them, it's going to be a tall order for him. So, Man U should just increase his salary if they can, because he needs to stay where he will grow. But in Chelsea, they'll be dragging with all those 100 million, 90 million players that they've signed.
A lot of dragging. All right, for AC Milan, they are set to at least make a move for official move now for this man Marcus Rashford. I feel for him though, but I believe also I want to share in his pride when he actually granted an interview that he needs a new challenge. I believe he actually needs a new challenge.
Yeah, he has been in Manchester United for almost a decade right now. And to be honest with you, you need a new challenge to prove people wrong or to prove or to even rediscover himself.
Yeah.
For self-assessment at times, when you stay long in the place, you look as if you are not doing anything. It is only when you leave the place, they will now realize that, wow, we've lost someone. And look at Anthony Sanchez, for example. Look at what he's doing with Chelsea.
Yeah.
He's doing very well. So that means he has done self-assessment that I'm not as bad as people think I am, probably because I'm in Manchester United, I'm in a particular place. So for Marcus Rashford, I think it's a very good move for him. However, he should be careful about his next destination. You know, you have to understand the league you are going into, the team you are going into, and their style of play. This is someone that all his life he has been playing in Premier League and Manchester United. So he's used to the Premier League style, possession base, kick and follow and what have you. But when you get to Serie A, their style of football is physical and it's totally different. And it's someone that has been injury prone for the past 2 years or so. So you should be very careful about its next destination. If AC Milan is not working, what about other team in Premier League? I think his agents should do a very good work to make sure that he gets a good team. But Serie A, I think you should think twice. You should look at people that have done it and what has happened to them.
Okay. For Marcus Rashford, we are still on that. Michael, for AC Milan, they are one top team in Europe. But we also had some top teams in England. Arsenal is also in there. Arsenal is also seeing if they can, and Arsenal is your team. Will Marcus Rashford fit in Arsenal style of play? We know that when he really came on board, he was one of those players that hunted down Arsenal at the opposition side.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for Rashford because when he's supposed to be in his prime, it looks like he's on decline. That's my biggest pain for Rashford. The truth is, he was a very good player. And if you look at his wage, this guy's wage is almost equivalent to what Salah is taking, £300,000 a week. And then you are not delivering the deliverables. That's the challenge with Rashford at the moment. Arsenal are in striking crisis at the moment. Saka is injured. Gabriel Jesus is injured. this German machine is not doing anything. They are calling him German scarecrow now, Kai Havertz, because he's been missing. Maybe Rashford may just add a little bite to the strike force. Where they say when the preferable is not available, the available becomes preferable. Since Arteta doesn't want to go for Osimhen, I think they can manage a Rashford for now, because they can't leave that attack the way it is. Because Nottingham Forest may just tell Arsenal, get out of the top 4.
Okay, now we will leave Marcus Rashford. Let's go back to Eric Chell's story. I really kept this. I kept this question for you. Now, straight up and honest, we are in a dilemma situation. No matter how we look at it in our group,
Sure.
It's going to take a miracle, because football, miracles happen in football. Just 3 points and 1 loss after 4 games. Do you think we will even play at the 2026 World Cup?
Well, the honest truth that most Nigerians wouldn't want to hear from me is the truth that I will tell you right now.
Okay.
We are not going to qualify for the 2026 World Cup. It's a shame that Nigeria will not qualify. We find ourselves in a precarious situation that we should have avoided, and we left it late so soon. So take it from me, I don't see us qualifying in 2026.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, but that's the bitter truth. That's the reality.
Okay, Michael. From your own end, do you think we will qualify for the 2026 World Cup?
I think we are in a worse situation than we were in the previous World Cup qualifier. In the previous World Cup qualifier, we missed it by the skin of the teeth, by whiskers. But this time around, we are drowned. I mean, it's like trying to come out when someone is already drowned. That's the situation we are. It's so difficult to pull us out from where we are. I'm not sure even if the situation we are right now, Ejide Adeshams or even a Javiera can even pull us out, because the situation is like a full-blown AIDS. It's that bad.
Okay. Okay,
It looks that bad.
I will hold you there, but the thing is, I will not join the two of you. No, I have that belief that the Super Eagles will qualify for the 2026 World Cup. That is my own belief. But before we go finally from the show, let's just take this tennis story. Yes, games are ongoing in the Australian Open. Yes, 2 superwomen when it comes to tennis, Rabakina and Imara Raducanu. Both players have qualified. Those games were played earlier as of this, just before coming into the studio this morning. For Raducanu, for Rabakina, she won her game 6-1, 6-1, blowing away her opponent. That is Australian teenager Emerson Jones. And then for Imara Raducanu, after some faults in her game, she was able to win 7-6, 7-4, 7-6, 7-2 against Russian 26th seed Katrina Alexandrova in that particular game. All right, that is what we believe in it on the show 360 Sports this morning. Michael, thanks for coming on the show. I'm laughing because I will not join the two of you. Super Eagles will go to the World Cup.
Yeah, yours truly, MC Magnet. I enjoyed the pairing with Olawale. It's a great analyst.
All right.
Thanks, Michael. It's nice having you also. I really enjoy pairing with you.
Now, I will not join you people. I will say it on the show. Super Eagles will go to the World Cup.
But the reality is what we've just told you right now. Take it or leave it. 3 points from 4 matches, and you are bringing in a coach that does not even qualify a team to the World Cup, that doesn't even understand how African team plays. Come on, save this clip. So that you tell the world that Olawale Peters and Michael Idoko told you then that will not qualify. But based on your sentiments, you said we will qualify. That's not how it works. We say it the way it is.
Thank you very much, Peter, for coming on the show. It's good one having you. The two of you want to bombard me. I refuse to shake. Super Eagles see you in 2026 World Cup. That is it on the show. I am Emmanuel Fashimi. Say thanks for watching.